I think I'm live. All right, we have to wait a few seconds for people to come in. If you're online, just let me know if you can hear me properly. Just hi, I'm not sure if I'm audible. Yes, audible on the chat box will work. Hi, I can see some people coming in. All right. Thank you. So, welcome. Session number 40 today. I was talking to my team, very happy. We thought of this idea 40 weeks ago. I think we've been fairly consistent except 1 week, I guess, in between. And we plan to keep on doing this in the future. Two agendas for today. First, getting a lot of questions on should I defer the exams, should I not? So I wanted to give you some my 2 bits on how to think of exam deferral, what kind of data points should you look at so that you know if you should defer the exams or not. Second, May exams are fairly close, about 10-15 days left. So I'll talk a little bit on what to do for the May exams, how to prepare for both CFA level 1, level 2. And then we'll be very happy to take your questions on the chat box. Right, so that's the agenda. Let's start with deferral. Now, here's what I think, and I'm going to use my screen to do that, so it becomes a little easier for me. All right, my screen should be visible now. The question is, should I defer the exams or not? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you this framework, considering the fact that we are probably like, and this would generally be helpful, but let's say in the last 1 month. Now, there are some clear cases where you should consider deferring. There are some very clear cases where you should be not deferring, right? So do not defer. And then we have some cases where we're somewhere in the middle, right? So let's think of in what cases you can defer. So let's say you're 15, 20 days, 30 days away from the exam, and you still left with, let's say left with 1 or 2 subjects. Okay, and this is, I'm saying, 30 days before the exam. There, for example, you've not touched quant at all, you've not touched ethics at all. Then I think it will, again, it's very subjective, case by case, but it will reduce your probability of passing significantly. For the simple reason that the competition at CFA level 1 now is fairly intense. My guess is that your minimum passing scores are a ballpark range of 70%, right? So which means the margin of error is very, very small. Each subject constitutes somewhere in the range of 5 to 15% weightage. If one subject is left, and you might still finish the subject, but you definitely not get enough time to do the mocks, right? So if you're someone who's in this category, 15 days, 20 days away from the exam, 1 or 2 subjects are still pending, maybe it's a good idea to consider a deferral, because it will take some time to finish and then you'll have to do a lot of mocks, right? So that's the situation. In all other cases, I think if you've completed your syllabus, but you feel that, okay, I've completed syllabus, so that's an underlying assumption, right? I've completed syllabus once, the whole curriculum. But let's say that you have that feeling that I do not remember anything, which I hear all the time, right? Students call me and say, syllabus ho gaya hai, my syllabus is done, but I studied corporate issuers 5 months back, abhi kuch yaad nahi hai. And the thing is, believe it or not, as teachers, I hear it from almost everyone. I recently did a poll in my class, and I asked them, I think there were about 100 people in the classroom, and I asked them, how many of you feel that you tend to forget what you studied 2-3 months ago? Just raise your hand and guess how many people raised hands. Everyone, right? And it's very natural for us to not remember, but with adequate level of practice and revision strategy, I think this can be dealt with. So if you feel I don't remember, you can revise. That will come back to you, assuming you've completed the syllabus. Second, if you have the feeling that maybe I should defer, but agar 15 दिन और मिल जाते तो, if I had 15 days more, then maybe I would have taken the exam, right? If you have that feeling that if only I had 15 days more, if only I had 15 days more, I would have taken the exam. That's again a sign that maybe you should not defer, right? Because see, everyone is going to feel the same way. Everyone is going to feel that I wish I had 7 more days, I wish I had 15 more days. So that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of stress is very, very normal. I don't think this is a situation for you to defer. Okay. Third, a very clear-cut case. If mocks on an average, you're scoring 60% or more, and I mean FinTree mocks, I mean CFA mocks, maybe FinTree mocks a little bit less since the difficulty is slightly higher, but even CFAI mocks, if your score is 60% or more. Now remember, sometime back I told you that actual exam threshold is 70. Then why am I keeping the threshold at 60 for the mocks? For the simple reason that you take mocks, a week before the exam, 10 days before, 21 days before the exam. As you progress, you get more time to revise, work on your mistakes. So your scores on the actual test, in my experience, if you're scoring on an average 60% on FinTree mocks, your score on the actual test should be score on the FinTree mocks plus 10%. Okay. So if you're scoring more than 60%, I don't think you really should be considering deferral. Here you've taken mocks 10-15 days before the exam, and you're consistently scoring, let's say, less than 40, 45, 50%. Then, and that's a consistent score, not a one-off score, then maybe this is a scenario for you to consider deferral of the exams, right? Where it gets really tricky is if you're somewhere in the middle range, right? So somewhere in the middle range means let's say you're scoring on an average somewhere between 50 to 60%. You've completed 95% of the syllabus. Some parts are still pending. You practiced some questions here and there, but you haven't practiced thoroughly. Now, these are the cases, it's very difficult. In those cases, I think you are the best judge, right? And then the decision making will change on a case by case basis. But hopefully, this framework comes in handy to you. So on the mocks, and when I say more than 60%, I'm saying at least 3 to 4 mocks. That's the minimum sample you're looking at, right? So that will help you take some decision in terms of what you want to do. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to take them in the later part of the session. Now I'll go to the May exams, both for CFA level 1 and CFA level 2, in terms of how you want to handle the exam strategy for last 10-15 days. So extremely simple. Last 15 days before the exam, your focus is, so at FinTree we follow LPR system, right? L is learn, P is practice, R is revise. Now the L part is out of our way. Last 15 days we're not spending time on L. In fact, if you're spending time on L, that means you haven't done material yet, then maybe you're in this category, right? So now your focus is entirely on P and R. If I were at your place, here's a simple thing I'll do. Every day, I will spend some time on the juice notes, or the formula sheets that we prepared, maybe 2 hours in the morning, right? Get up early in the morning, spend 2 hours and try to revise 2 or 3 subjects. Should be easier. If you don't have juice notes, some summary material will also work, right? Curriculum summaries maybe. And then practice, make sure that you take at least 7 mocks, whether it's level 1, level 2. We recommend to do on an average 9 mocks. Okay, so but minimum 7 mocks. Ideal would be 9. If you can take more than that, that's great. Then you want to revise all the end of the chapter questions of CFA curriculum and all the blue boxes of curriculum one more time. Again, a lot of questions on the exam might be, and I'm being very careful with my language here, might be inspired from the blue boxes or EOCs. Okay, so you want to be really comfortable with end of the chapter curriculum questions. You want to be comfortable with examples within the CFA curriculum. And then after this, whatever time you find, spend it on learning ecosystem, right? The CFA learning ecosystem. Now here, in the final 15 days, my recommendation is to practice questions horizontally rather than vertically. And what I mean by that is don't do subject by subject. Don't take CI and practice all the questions of CI in one go. I don't think that works. There is this thing called the death game, I guess, in the CFA portal where it randomly throws questions at you. Do them. Okay, and that's a simple trick. Practice as many questions as you can. Keep on revising on a daily basis and you should be good to go. Next week in my session, I'll try to touch base a little bit on a final checklist, right, before the exams. But I think for this week, this should be good enough. So that brings me back to YouTube. If there are any questions that you want me to answer, I'll be very happy to answer now. Sunil, I think I answered that question for you. Brahma, my question is, I find it difficult to answer FinTree questions, but I can manage the CFA learning ecosystem questions. Can I expect questions to be more like the FinTree type or the LES type? I think they're the same type. When we write questions, we're very careful of the style used in the CFA curriculum. In general, the thought process is like this. Okay, if I were to let's assume write CFA paper. Okay, I don't. But if let's say if I had to design a CFA paper, what I would do is I will create 3 different grades in terms of level of difficulty, right? So I'll have some category of basic questions, some category of intermediate questions, and some category of extremely challenging questions. Maybe a split could be something like 20% easy, maybe 50% moderate and 30% challenging. A lot of questions on the FinTree test bank are on the last grade, the challenging one. Okay, so you will be seeing those category of questions on the test as well. Not all of them, Brahma, but kuch questions to वैसे आएंगे ही आएंगे. So my recommendation is if you practice at the FinTree level, then all the levels below that become easier. So just spend some time. We've written in-depth solution. So practice those questions again and again, and hopefully you start finding yourself more comfortable. X is asking how to manage a full-time job with CFA L3 prep. When does the CFA announce changes for L3? Should I wait for updated material or start with 2025? Start with 2025, that's one. I don't remember when the L3 syllabus is announced, but whenever the Feb 26 enrollments will start, that's when the syllabus will be announced. So just track dates on when can you check the dates for me, anyone? when does the level 3 2026 enrollment opens. That would be the date when the syllabus will be announced. But I would recommend, even if it changes, generally I'm saying the changes are not significant, so you're okay to start with 2025. 29th April is already gone. So is it announced?
Yeah, registration is open.
Okay. X, just check their website. I'm not sure. I don't know the exact date.
Registration is already open.
Registration is open, right? Yeah. Okay. Then maybe it's already announced. I'm not sure. So just have a look at that. Now, how do you manage it with a full-time job? The same LPR process. See, at level 3 we have a simple funda at FinTree, right? We don't look at level 3 as one exam. We look at this as two separate exams. One category of question is constructed response. One category of questions is your MCQs. Now, the idea is be so good at constructed response that MCQs automatically become very easy. So focus only and only on constructed response type of questions, because you've done a lot of MCQs at level 2, so you're already comfortable with that type of style. So put all your energy, emphasis on getting your writing style right? The ability to articulate your thoughts and answer exactly what's been asked. As long as you do that, I think you're okay. Again, at level 3, a mentor will help a lot. Okay, now it doesn't have to be FinTree, it could be anyone you like, but you need someone who would give you a feedback on your writing style on a continuous basis, and that would make a significant difference. So just keep that at the back of your mind. All right, Shantanu, what should be the accuracy on learning ecosystem ethics? I think in general, you target 70%. That's a good accuracy. A minimum threshold of 70% accuracy across the board. Sir, a sequence for crash course in the last 5 days. Okay, here's a sequence I like, Omkar. This is irrespective of level 1 or level 2. Let me give you a answer. I look at CFA curriculum like in certain blocks. So for me, all the assets, derivative, alternative and fixed income, they can be done together. Notice I have not put an equity here. I think equity, FRA and CI can be done as one block, because I feel they're organic, kind of connected with each other. And then everything else, right? So quant, PM, econ, you can do as one block, and then you can do ethics. So within this, you can choose whatever sequence you want. Start with subject you're least comfortable with and move towards most comfortable. So that way you focus a little bit more on the challenging areas. So let's say you don't like derivatives as much. So start here and then maybe start here, then go here, and then eventually finish the ethics. That should be a good sequence. Okay. I have a few more questions. Let's see if we can deal with them. Isha is asking, does scoring more in ethics increase the probability of passing? I don't know, but I don't think there is a subject-wise passing criteria. But CFA Institute has an official policy where they say that if the two candidates have scored the same on the test, but they have to pass only one of the two for some reason, then they are going to prefer the candidate with the better score in ethics. So from that perspective, ethics is clearly given a lot of importance, plus 15% of the weight. So in general, I would recommend, my answer would be yes. A, because the weight is higher, and B, probably they consider that as important. What compensation should we expect after level 3 being a fresher, but has practical experience? You know what? I'm going to start posting some of the questions on my screen for you. This is the next question that's coming in. What comp should I have after level 3, being a fresher? All right. So if you're level 3 completed and you're still a fresher, see, this part I don't care. Honestly, every Tom, Dick, and Harry in India today is a trader, right? You go and pick one random guy on the random dude on the street and ask them, "Are you a trader?" Most probably they're going to say yes. So this practical experience that you might, and see, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Maybe you have great experience, but honestly, I don't care. You're still a fresher. If I were to recruit you, I wouldn't have been very happy. I probably wouldn't have given you an offer because ideally, I would expect people to work after level 1, at least after level 2. The fact that you chose to study full time for all the 3 levels tells me you can't really handle multiple things together, and in a work environment at times you have to handle a few things together. But from an employer perspective, just to give you a direct answer to your question, I would say if I were recruiting, I'll probably offer you the same that I would offer a level 1 fresher, right? So anywhere between 3 to 6 lakhs per annum, that would be my pay. Had you come to me with just 1 year of quality experience, a professional experience, the pay would have been at least 50% higher than this range after level 3. But since there's no experience, in my head, I think I would just pay you like what I'll pay a level 1 cleared candidate, not more. Okay, let's do some more. Sorry, my apologies. I'm just being honest. Om, currently in CA Final CFA, what job roles should I also look in? IB boutique P firms will recruit me. Any chances of CA CFA H? Okay. All right, let's answer this one. Let me share my screen again with you. So I'm kind of putting the questions here so that viewers on YouTube can also get a sense of what was being discussed. Okay. CA final and CFA level 1 cleared. What job role should I look for in IB firms? Boutique P firms will recruit me. Any chances of CFA H? The second part, are there any chances of CA CFA H? The answer is an absolute yes. Okay. See, I'll tell you, one of the things that we've noticed with so many years of helping CFA candidates is not every CFA candidate is very good in accounting. Okay, and especially in certain category of roles, especially something like an equity research, you need very strong understanding of accounting concepts. For example, let's say your IFRS 16 or your the same, right? Right of use asset or lease liability. Now, I've seen that a CA background candidates who've truly learned accounting the way it should be learned will have some sort of a competitive advantage in areas where accounting is required, right? So something like an equity research, something like a credit research, especially for large corporate, these are good roles. This is where you'll have competitive advantage. Will you have competitive advantage in an investment banking firm? No. Investment banking, I think the preference is more for MBA finance, where you can talk fancy stuff and close deals and get clients for them. So for investment banking, maybe a MBA plus CFA is a better combination rather than a CA plus CFA. A private equity firm, again, no. Private equity firms in India are very selective recruiters. There's a lot of resistance to try beyond IIMs and IITs. However, slowly that's changing. Very soon, I think me and my team have been trying quite hard to kind of get opportunities in private equity space for FinTree students. I think if you're a part of FinTree placements, very soon you would see 2 very interesting reputed opportunities coming on the FinTree placement portal on the private equity space. It has taken us months and months of following up with these guys, but finally they have agreed to give us a chance. So this thing is changing slowly, but it will take time. But again, private equity, I think these guys prefer IIMs in India or the Ivy Leagues globally. That's a very honest, direct answer to your question. Okay, what else? Let me pick and choose some questions carefully here. Gaurav is asking, let me take Gaurav's question on the screen. Sir, level 2 August exam, by what date my syllabus should be over? Simple process. I'll tell you the thought process behind it. Earlier, uh, I think this is prior to 2022, at FinTree, we used to have a 30-day revision cycle, which included crash course and mocks. And then we carefully observe the data patterns that we have in terms of success ratio of the candidates. And we realized, again, the level of competition has gone up quite a lot with CFA level 1, level 2. So now we actually recommend a 60-day revision and practice cycle. Okay, so if you're writing your exams on, let's say, August, maybe let's assume August 15th, then ideally your syllabus should be over by June 15th. Okay, so we're recommending a 60-day revision. In fact, we also publish a 60-day revision schedule for all the exams these days. So a 60-day cycle where you prepare in advance, and then the last 60 days you spend on crash course, mocks, learning ecosystem, blue boxes, all the entire drill, right? Based on the schedule that we published. So this is roughly what I'll recommend. June 15th is the date for you. Let's do some more. Okay. All questions on level 1 are MCQ. Yes, they are. Isha, yes, curriculum will have case studies. I'll tell you in which chapters you came across. You must have come across in FRA, especially in inventories. And that's because inventory, the chapter that you have in level 1 curriculum earlier, used to be a part of level 2 curriculum couple of years back. And then for some reason, CFA Institute thought, hey, let's move this to level 1. They did that, fine. But then they moved the level 2 case studies in the level 1 as it is. And some of those are kind of, not fun case studies to work with, right? The chocolate case study and, chocolate liquor and whatnot, right? So no, level 2 will not have case studies. Level 2 will have simple MCQ questions. Okay, let's take some more. I have some time today. Sahil is asking. Let's see what Sahil is saying. I'm trying to put Sahil's question on the screen. Just got introduced to FinTree before 5 minutes. Acha. Okay. Luckily, saw your live lecture. I'm about to graduate. Will be joining EY as consulting engineer soon. Congratulations, Sahil. See, I mean, Big Fours are good places to start your career. I started my career in Deloitte. So definitely, I mean, you learn a lot in terms of work ethics and, variety of different things. I'm about to graduate, would be, when say I want to explore CFA, but I'm pretty confident about it. I'm not from finance domain. How should I plan it? See, I mean, you don't need, honestly, you don't need a finance domain whatsoever. In fact, in my classroom, I like engineers more than commerce background people. It's kind of known in the classroom. I call BCom as BCom people. I think engineers generally, I assume that will have reasonable mathematical rigor compared to, a commerce background candidate. And not having a finance background, I think, is some sort of an advantage of sorts, because then you learn the way it should be learned, right? And you kind of learn it right, learn it conceptually rather than memorizing the formula. Even today in 2025, a lot of university textbooks in India recommend firms to have a current ratio of 2. And now I know you don't know what current ratio is, but those of you who know, Pune University textbook says in its BCom or BBA syllabus that firms should have a current ratio of 2. Now, if you're a practitioner in the market, you know that's such a stupid thing. Some of the best companies in India operate on negative current ratios, right? So I think not having a finance background, I honestly believe is an advantage as long as you're willing to put in time. And we have a fantastic level 0 course. It's free of cost as of now on the FinTree website. You go sign up, 20, 30 hours of very high quality content on derivatives, equity markets. You can watch it free of cost. So give it a try. If you like it, then you kind of know you like finance. Gunik is asking, does level 1 have a fill in the blank type questions? At least not as of now in 2025. Don't know about the future. Aditya is asking, this is a good one. I like this. Okay, Aditya. I'm going to take this question. Okay. How do top tier wealth managers and rockstar fund managers handle close friends asking for investment advice when that's something they usually charge for? This is a good one. Is I encounter this issue all the time. So here is my very simple funda. If it's a genuinely a close friend, and they just need advice on should I buy this stock or not, once in a while, I think I would do it for free for them, because and that's what I do personally, right? So a lot of my friends would call me once in a while, say, can I do this? Can I do that? We brainstorm on ideas. But I would also make sure that I'm not being ripped off or not taken unfair advantage of, right? So if my time involvement is increasing significantly, then I'll tell them, see, if you're a fund manager, that's what you do for a living, right? So you need to be paid for whatever work or efforts you put in. So very simple thought process. If that's consuming a lot of your time and from friendship it's becoming like a work, then I think you should be very upfront about it, that this is a paid service, and of course I can give you a little discount, maybe a friendship discount of sorts, but that's it, and then you get them paid. But this situation will happen all the time, right? You would always encounter your friends and family asking for stock tips. And one thing I've stopped doing is I don't give stock tips. No one, even close friends, not even family, except, I mean, of course, the blood relatives, but I have stopped giving stock tips. If I get a call and if someone says, can you recommend me a few stocks, I'll say no. If they call me and say, okay, I have this stock in my portfolio, what do you think? I will tell them what I think, free of cost, I mean, if they're friends. But if they ask me what portfolio or what stocks, I just simply refuse. I say no. And I think you anyways are supposed to do that as per the SEBI guidelines. It's fairly simple. If you're advising someone, you need to have documentation in place. So that also works that way. Okay, what else? You ignored my message. Ayush, sorry, I missed it. Where is Ayush's message? Ayush, I'm having exams in August. What should be a roadmap? I'm a student getting 78%. 70. You're doing good. Just keep on practicing questions then. If you're already scoring 78%, I think you're doing a good job. The more questions you practice, the better. Do you think commercial agriculture is a good idea, or do you think they are too saturated? Anuj, I'm not an expert on the agri space, so I think it will be a little immature on my part to comment on that. But based on what I've heard from people who are in this business, is that there is a lot of scope for very science-based, machine-operated agriculture in India, but it needs to be done at scale, right? So if you have maybe 100 acre of land parcel and you want to uh, do all the capex, because that's where economies of scale will come, I think it might still be a good idea to explore that. The market man, if I don't want to be doing job opportunities to earn after doing CFA, there are plenty of this market man. I think plenty of you can be a wealth manager, set up your own practice. You can set up boutique investment bank, research house, start a subscription service. The beauty of setting up a business in finance, you can do it on zero capex. आपके पास एक रुपया भी नहीं है, you do not have a single rupee, but you have the skill. आप बहुत बढ़िया धंधा बना सकते हो, right? You have the skill and you have the network, or you're willing to build your network. I think there's opportunities in finance, plenty of them. Maybe someday I'll do a dedicated session on this, right, with the entire roadmap of how to start your own business in finance. उसको लिख के रखो, कभी करेंगे. Please give suggestion on CFA after UPSC drop. If you like finance, do it. If you've studied UPSC, you already have my respects. I mean, it's a beautiful syllabus because your syllabus is infinite, but you learn, your public administration, you learn, history, geography, ancient history, medieval history, modern history, geography, science. So you're just the perfect type of a person, a macro economics or a research analyst is expected to be, who's well read and knows about a lot of things and can connect dots. I feel UPSC dropouts, CFA or finance, it doesn't have to be CFA, finance actually is a good career for them to explore. By the way, I've written UPSC way back. I think I don't remember 2009 or 10. I forgot which year. I was kind of naive, stupid, and lucky at the same time because I took the prelims and I somehow passed. And then, but after prelims, I didn't prepare for mains because I kind of lost interest in UPSC by then, and I didn't think I'll pass, honestly. So I'd moved on. But then when I was passed, everyone around me was surprised, and I was also surprised. Kaise ho gaya? Then I took mains with, I think, 2 or 3 months of prep. And in mains, they have two. UPSC mains is the second level exam. They have these two, what do you call them? Eligibility or qualifying exams, 2 language papers, which you just need to pass. They're not counted in your score, and then you do the rest of the stuff. So I didn't pass in one of the 2 languages. I did okay in English. I failed in Marathi, which is a shame, honestly, because I'm a Marathi medium student. But because my Marathi I didn't pass, so my next papers were not evaluated. Back in the day, मेरे को शौक था IPS ऑफिसर बनने का. मेरे को यूनिफॉर्म पहन के थोड़ा वो करना था. But then, I realized I was, not thinking straight, and I was a little naive in taking that decision. So luckily, just a 3-4 month exercise, and then I moved out of it. But I learned a lot in that process. So that's why I have a lot of respect for UPSC students. All right. I'm going to take last 2 questions now, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm taking it in August. I'm only through economics. Am I screwed? But Dr. Witz, maybe yes. June 15 is your target to finish syllabus, maybe June end. You'll have to speed up a little bit. Take some help, maybe, like just get some videos and go through the material a little faster. Last question. Mithila. After clearing level 1, can I get work from home job? my husband always gets transferred to different cities? Love that question. Let's think. Work from home job probability is very low. It was kind of a thing during COVID and then a year after that, but now I think most of the employers are not okay with it. Though there are some jobs available even today who are permanent work from home, especially in research area. We can try. But what you can do is set up your own practice, Mithila. So not a job, but you can set up your own practice. You can do it from home. You can do some sort of a research-based business or a consulting business or an advisory business, and that will also give you a lot of geographical flexibility. Okay, last question, and I'm done for the day. Don't Shabda for May students. Raj Lakshmi, for all the May candidates, my closing remark, right? 15 days away from the exams. You will, this probably, is a true test of CFA candidates per se, because honestly, इस time पे बहुत, for the lack of better word, बहुत फटती है, right? It's, I don't know, how do I convert that to English? It's whatever, right? And how do you, then there would be some people who will throw in the towel and they'll say, you know what, I'm going to defer, nahi ho raha hai. But there would be some candidates who would grind through this process. And that honestly would be the difference between a winner and, a loser. So if you've done all the hard work and you're still feeling a little anxiety, that's not a bad thing. Fear is a good emotion to have, because it kind of pushes us. Had there been no fear, we would have been dead by now, right? I mean, a tiger comes, we're scared. That's why we protect ourselves. So fear is a good thing. Leverage on that fear. Take one day at a time. Don't think of results. Say that आज का दिन मैं एकदम मस्त पढ़ाई करेगा, right? Today I'll do the best that I can, and then take one day at a time and just enjoy the process. Okay. So wish you all the best. Of course, as we say in the classroom, I pass. I want to hear I pass from all of you. So just enjoy 10-15 days, reach exam center on time, and next week I'll meet again. We'll talk a little bit a week before the exams as well. Okay, so thank you. I appreciate your valuable time on Saturday mornings. I told you this was session number 40. I'm kind of feeling proud that we've been able to do this for consistently for last 40 weeks, and we plan to hopefully do it for a long period of time. I pass. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Have a good one.